Are you afraid to embrace your desires? I mean, what does it even mean to embrace your desires and to stop hiding them? The thing I find with most of my clients, and I've experienced in my own life, is how deep we actually hide our desires and the lengths we go to conceal these deep, deep desires. So today I want to unpack why we do that, what's happening, and really the damage that it can cause to us when we do suppress our desires, and how it really isn't beneficial in our life, but there's some strategic steps to take to really unpack that. So stick around. I want to unpack that with you if you're new here. I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a life recovery coach. So I help my clients get to the root of what's driving their unwanted behaviors or their unsatisfying life by going back on a subconscious level and reframing those core beliefs and those really old belief systems that are still running the show, so that you can finally create the life you want, the love you want, and you can do it in a crazy fast amount of time with this modality. So if you'd like to learn more, check out the link in the description below. You can visit my website, learn all about what I do. There's also an easy link on my website to set up a totally free consultation call so that we can spend some time getting to the heart of what's going on with you, decide if we're a good fit to work together, and at the very least, you'll get a lot more clarity about what's going on in your life and hopefully what the right next steps to take are. So check all that out. The link is again below in the description. So before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if this content resonates with you, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. We have all of these deep desires. We might have a really strong desire to be married, or to have a family, or to have a specific life experience, or maybe just the desire to be really silly, to be fully ourselves with someone else, without that fear that keeps us holding everything back. We hold back our desires because we are actually fearing, so badly fearing, that we won't get it. We won't get those desires. And the reality is that in a lot of situations, whether you're single or married, we also really don't just want the thing. We want a partner who wants it with us, who really desires to build and have this dream or this future or this life with us. And so if we fear that we might never get it, that we're going to look a certain way if we actually admit to what we want, then we hold back and we shove those desires down. And it's not always relationship desires, even though, of course, that's my focus because I work with people in their relationships a lot. But it does kind of boil down to that, because even if we have a desire to go to Italy, to experience something around the world or some adventure, whatever, at the end of the day, we really want that to be shared with someone. So most people who have this desire, well, I just want to, travel the world and live 2 months in every place and experience it all, and that's great. But most people who actually act on that by themselves end up finding out that they've now isolated themselves from the people closest in their life, and they're not sharing the experience with anyone and building memories with anyone, and it feels even more lonely and more isolating. And so the focus of remembering that, yes, you want this thing and you want someone else to want it with you is part of the fear factor that's going on inside of you that's keeping you from expressing these desires and being really open and honest about what you want, because you fear that no one else will want it with you. And connection is such an incredible, important part of humanity. We really need to be connected to others. So if we aren't connected, we're already suffering. And if we are connected and we fear that we're going to be rejected if we express these desires, then we hold them inside. But over time, it really eats up at us and it keeps us from being our most authentic selves. So at the end of the day, if we're doing that, if we're hiding our desires, if we aren't actually creating a life that feels connected, supported, loved, where we can be our authentic self, then we're not choosing ourselves. And we have to learn to choose ourselves so that we can have the level of confidence that's needed to present ourselves to the world in an authentic way. And I'm not talking about just being the best version of yourself and always being better than you were the day before. No one needs more competition in their life, even if that competition is themselves. Yes, we should be self-reflective. Yes, we should want to grow. But I'm not talking about some perfect version of ourselves. I'm talking about an authentic version of ourselves. So when we're being authentic, we're no longer hiding behind the mask. We're not trying to be what the whole world expects for us to be. We are moving in a way that feels authentic, feels good, that we can feel proud of, that we're not hiding or holding back any part of ourselves. We are tuned into at least the version of ourselves that we've unpacked thus far in life. And we're aware, we're self-aware, and we're sharing that with the people in our lives. If we aren't doing that, we're likely suppressing the desires. And I oftentimes, when I'm talking to my clients, I'm asking them to tune into what their needs are. But I'm very clear, it's not just needs like a roof over my head and food on my plate. It's also wants and desires, because our wants and desires are also needs. Even if we don't fully accomplish every single one of them, we need to be able to freely and openly express them and to ask for what we want in our life. So the problem is that most people are dealing with these subconscious fears, and the subconscious fears underneath it all are keeping you from showing up authentically in your life. Those fears were created probably a long time ago in a belief system before you had much discernment, but there's still a voice inside of you keeping you from being yourself. If I'm myself, I won't be loved. I won't be accepted. I won't be liked. No one will want me. I'll be shunned. I won't have the connections I need. Whatever it is, there's this dialogue that doesn't really play out in literal words, but more in feelings inside of our body, and it's keeping us trapped from being authentic. So if we deal with the subconscious blocks, then we're able to speed up the process of being authentic. And let me tell you, once you can be authentic, it actually helps every other relationship that you have. Because if you're in the dating world, being authentic means that you're going to quickly weed out people who are not okay with the authentic you. If you are your authentic self and they don't like it, you're going to find out right away, instead of wasting months or years wearing a fake mask, trying to be someone that you're not, only to find out that when the real you is revealed, or you take off that mask, that the other person isn't capable of connecting with you, right? So being authentic allows you to get what you want quicker. And inside a marriage, being authentic really allows you to create like an invitation for your partner to grow, because no one wants to stay stagnant and still, even in a committed marriage. We want to be growing individually and together. And so when one person decides that they're going to take this growth journey, they're going to try some new things that are part of their desire list, they're going to communicate their desires to their partner, it gives that other partner the opportunity to step up to the plate, to take part in that, to be more vulnerable themselves, to start thinking about their own desires and express them. So the longer we hold back our authenticity, the longer we suffer, whether it's single or married. We need that authenticity, and we don't just do this in a demanding, controlling way. This is once you've taken the time to do the work and you're dialed in and you're actually committed to creating a life where your desires feel fulfilled and communicating that authentically to your partner. So the thing is that your subconscious mind has a playbook of its own. It's running about 95% of everything you think, feel, and do. And so what's happening is This subconscious programming was put in place a really long time ago and really has been built on and altered throughout your adult life as well, but usually through traumatic events or complex trauma that has caused you to see yourself and the world around you a little differently. So it's not necessarily from a place of clarity and discernment and maturity that it's operating from. It's an old operating system. And when you aren't addressing things on a subconscious level, then there's a lot more struggle involved in creating the change. So, of course, once you address this on a subconscious level, you start feeling more confident. Confidence is not cockiness. It's not arrogance. It's authenticity. Real confidence comes from when you are able to be truly authentic to the people in your life, where you aren't hiding behind things anymore. And this allows you to really have the people in your life who you're able to share those desires with, where you're able to build something real with. So, of course, hypnotherapy is something I love. It's what I do, and it's why I chose this, because it does create such a dynamic of exponential growth, just a huge leap forward. Doesn't mean you don't continue to grow, you don't have more work, but it's just a giant leap in getting some of those old beliefs reframed so you can finally be functioning the way you want. And as far as the steps you can take yourself today without any outside help, you can start with writing down what you want your life to look like. Writing down those desires. What does it look like? And what does it feel like? What emotions would that invoke in you if you had that life you want, if you had the desires that you want? So get really clear about what you want, and then decide what's the next smallest step I can take. That next smallest step is how you will choose to invest in yourself to reach that goal. Now, if hypnotherapy is the way to invest in yourself, great. If it's another modality, great. But whatever that next smallest step for you is, it's identifying it and then moving toward it. Because we don't change and grow and heal by ourselves. We're just not wired that way. Not only are we social creatures, but we also really need the help of other people who've gone before us in this. And as a hypnotherapist, I help my clients get to the heart of what's going on. They're driving that process, but I'm guiding them and coaching them through the hypnotherapy session so they can get to the place they need to get so they can reframe those beliefs on that subconscious level. So again, if you'd like to learn more about that process or working with me, check out that link in the description below. And the thing you can do today on your own is to get really clear about what you want, what it looks like, what it feels like, and what that next smallest step for you is so that you can create a life you love. You only get one life, only one. So when you're ready to finally claim that life and make it your own and just say to hell with all of the other crap that I've been trying to do to appease others, that's when your life starts all over again. In a new way, in a fresh way, and sometimes in a scary way because you don't know what's next. This is uncharted territory. But all I can tell you is it's worth it. It's so worth it to create a life that you love. So until next time, I hope you curate a life by your own design.